Howdy, folks. I'm Docile Sledge Dog, delightedly dashing through downy drifts.
I'm Amber.
And here are more downy drifts for us to dash through. But oh no, they were really deep, and it turns out that we're now in a very deep snow tunnel.
Oh no.
Only us dogs can dig our ways through. So let's get started digging our way through this Reddit. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for making my coworker a separate meal after she insulted my cooking? I work in a small office where we do a potluck style lunch once a week. I love cooking, so I usually bring something homemade. For some context, I'm Thai, and a lot of what I make has strong flavors. Think garlic, fermented fish sauce, chili, shrimp paste, and that kind of thing. Most of my coworkers love it. Kate, though, has always been weird about it. She's made little comments before like, wow, that's pungent, or your food is so intense. Once, when I brought in some tom green papaya salad, she wrinkled her nose and said, ugh, why does it smell like that? Like, it smells like lime and chili. Sorry, it's not a turkey sandwich, Kate. Well, the worst was when she asked me if I grew up eating bugs. I kind of laughed it off because I was so caught off guard by it, but she kept going, talking about how she saw a documentary about Thai people eating crickets and how it must be normal for me. I told her as evenly as I could that yes, some people eat insects, but it's not like I was raised munching on tarantulas for breakfast. She got all flustered and said she didn't mean it like that. Well, anyways, last month I made a khao seo for potluck and northern Thai curry noodle soup. Everyone seemed to love it except Kate, who took one bite, made a face, and said, oh, this is strong. Then she laughed like it was a joke, but barely touched her bowl. Later, I overheard her telling someone that it was too much spice and too many smells at once. So a few weeks later, when it was my turn to cook again, I made my usual dish, plus a plain grilled chicken breast with some steamed vegetables and a little cup of ranch dressing. No seasoning, no strong smells, etc. I left a note for Kate since I know that she prefers something simple. She seemed mad, said that I was singling her out and making her look bad. I told her that I was just trying to be accommodating, the way that she seemed to want. Some of my coworkers thought it was hilarious, and others thought that I was being passive-aggressive. Honestly, maybe I was. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, she has routinely complained about OP's food, Generally, if you don't like something, you just quietly don't eat it. You don't have to make rude remarks, and you certainly don't start making, assumptions, xenophobic assumptions about people, like trying to paint them as someone who, her whole thing about, so it must be normal for you to eat bugs, right? Like,
Well, I actually want to even point out something on this, right? People everywhere eat bugs,
mm-hmm,
right? Because shrimp, for instance, is an arthropod. It's a type of bug. It's really bugs. Lobsters, for instance, are a type of bug, right? They are different because they come from the sea, but they're still bugs.
bugs of the sea.
Yeah, they're bugs of the sea. And so for someone to be like, it's gross you're eating bugs, well, guess what? You probably eat bugs too.
Yeah, well, and so, I feel like what OP did, people are misrepresenting it in the worst way possible. Because, if someone doesn't like your food and you go out of your way to make a dish that accommodates their palate, yeah, sure, there could be a passive aggressive component, but I'm someone who I can't handle very spicy food.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone were to prepare me a spice-free dish, my immediate thought wouldn't be, oh, this is so passive aggressive, I'm so upset. It'd be like, oh, thank you for accommodating me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she took it in a passive-aggressive way because maybe she's passive-aggressive herself, and I think that she's just kind of reflecting that back upon OP, who was trying to do a nice thing, and I think OP is kind of on the fence here. It seems like they may have been a little bit, passive-aggressive here, but, I mean, she did, she was tired of hearing Kate complain about her food, so I don't know. I don't think that what she did was terrible.
Yeah.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's find out what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Saint, but misunderstood.
I mean...
Good job, Wheel. Good job. And our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to cook in our kitchen because my wife decorated it? My wife and I, a 37-year-old male and a 35-year-old female, bought a house together 2 years ago. She had a laundry list of things that she absolutely had to have, but I only cared about one thing. I wanted a good kitchen with plenty of room to work. I've been cooking my whole life, and I cook all of the meals. We found a beautiful house that we both loved, and everything was fine. She added her flair to most of the rooms, and I let her choose the paint and furniture and wall art. We both paid our share on everything, and the house is gorgeous. I love it, and she has great tastes. However, a few months ago, she started talking about wanting to do the kitchen. I was open to it. It was now the only room in the house that hadn't gone personalized, and it made it kind of stick out. The problem was that she wanted to put random knickknacks all over the place. Every day, she was coming in from the store with something new. A basket with fake fruit, big ceramic pots of flour, we don't bake, book-sized wooden blocks with sweet sayings on them, a wine rack, and an espresso machine, we don't drink either, vinaigrette decanters with glittery liquid in it, decorative plates that sit on a cabinet shelf in front of the real dishes. It all came to a head when I found that she had put the toaster oven under the cabinet and moved my big old chopping block to above the fridge so that she can put a full serving tray with 4 cups, saucers, and a kettle set up in the middle of the counter, like we're hosting afternoon tea, which we never do. I told her that I wasn't on board with that the kitchen is perfect size to get cooking done. I use the toaster oven 3 times a day, and my butcher's block lives in that spot. It lives there because I use it all the time. I asked her where there even was space left for me to put down my 20 by 28 butcher's block. She started showing what could be moved to accommodate the block, and I said that I wasn't moving stuff around every single time I wanted to cut a melon. She kept saying that it wasn't that big of a deal and that I would get used to it, but I stood firm on not wanting all this random stuff out where I essentially work. She started crying and saying stuff like, "You don't get just to decide what's what." We tried talking about it again a few times, and it always ended up with her crying. I don't yell or anything. She just refuses to accept that I don't want a cute kitchen more than I want a useful one. I haven't cooked a full meal in our kitchen in 2 months. I make a few days worth at a time of rice, potatoes, a full tray of proteins, bags of salad, frozen soup. I pack it up in the fridge and eat as necessary. She's invited to eat any of it, but she, quote, doesn't like leftovers. She just recently realized that she's been gaining a lot of weight, wasting tons of time in drive-through lines, and paying loads of money for food that she doesn't even enjoy. Last night, we tried once again to have a talk about the kitchen, and it ended with me saying that if it's so important, then just let me have the kitchen now and how I want it to be so that I can cook right. She started crying again and accused me of blackmailing her health to win an argument. I gave up after that, and we both had to leave for work before we could talk it over. I feel dead set that as the person who is actually using the kitchen, cooking tools should not have to compete with space with useless nonsense, and I refuse to cook in such a cumbersome way. What do you all think? Edit, I saw a few people asking me about my work situation, and I work from home. Many days I have to get up before dawn to pick up paperwork at a close-by job site, but my main job is done at home. Edit 2, apparently people think that cooks a lot means he thinks that he's an amazing cook. I never once said that I'm a great chef. I'm sure that I'm just average. I do use flour for coating and thickening stuff, but I don't need a whole container's worth on hand at all times. One bag lasts me a few months, and I was always told that it's best to leave it in the bag that it came from so that it sits in a dark pantry. Maybe I'm being ignorant, but I can only imagine a baker would need 12 cups of flour ready to go. As for the toaster oven, I use it to toast rolls, bolillos, and extra crispy tortillas. The regular oven takes too long to preheat for just stacks of tortillas and rolls. I eat them daily. All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. Aesthetics comes secondary to functionality, and it seems like the wife has made the kitchen unusable to OP. Like, I definitely get not wanting to have to shuffle around a bunch of knickknacks to be able to just use basic household appliances. And it's not like toaster ovens are inherently unsightly in a kitchen.
Yeah.
They're a practical appliance. You know, everyone just about has them in their homes. And so I think the wife needs to take a step back, recognize that she is not the only person whose opinion matters in this household, and let him move enough stuff so that he can have the things he needs.
No, I severely disagree. Form over function. Everything needs to look good, and then you can use it, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think that in this particular case, function should follow form, right? You should have the primary function before you have it look good. And I mean,
Right.
I think that while she's accusing him of being the one who's like always getting his way and that he doesn't have the right to dictate how it is and stuff like that, that's exactly what she's doing here.
Right, yeah. She's like, "Oh, you're blackmailing me with my health." It's like, no, you are choosing one, not to eat leftovers. Like he's still even
Hmm.
preparing food,
Yeah, yeah.
but because it was prepared days ago, now she's not eating it. Like there's nothing wrong with meal prepping. Lots of people do that. So that one is an issue there. But
Hmm.
then, again, she's making conscious choices to not move her stuff also, to be, dead set on having all of these knickknacks. Opie's not saying clear out all your decorations. He's like, I need enough space for the toaster oven and the butcher block.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, I don't think any of his demands are unreasonable or onerous, right? He's just saying that I need a clean kitchen area so that I can actually cook. And like I don't think that this comes across as an emotional blackmail or health blackmail or anything like that. But I think that OP and their partner probably should look into couples therapy because I don't think they're making any ground at all on this communication. And OP has given her a reign of the house except
Mm-hmm.
for the kitchen. So she needs to understand that he needs to make some sacrifices and allow him to have the space that he primarily uses in his own way, right? In his, laid out the way he wants it.
Right. Well, and I mean, I have primary decorating ability of the house, but I'm not going to come over into the spaces where Brian needs and just clutter them up with stuff that is not useful.
Unless it's spooks.
Yes, spooks can always come where they want to go. My little Mothman plushie.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Feeding My Family a Fish Dinner While I Eat Steak and Potatoes? So apparently we don't get many characters, so I'll try my best to make this short and simple and straight to the point. I'm 3 months pregnant, and almost every day I've been craving a steak and sour cream and baked potatoes. I've never really cared for steak, and I'm more of a chicken fingers and fries girly, but I'm guessing that the baby must love steak in its past life because that's literally all I crave, and I don't even care for it. Well, today I made my family baked pizza spaghetti with fried catfish, a lunch salad, and some salad chopped with deli meat, and some dinner rolls. Of course, I'm making the same dish that I've been making myself almost every day these last few months. I pretty much make 2 separate meals each night for my cravings. Well, last night I served the kids and I was getting ready to make my fiance's plate and he expressed that he wanted steaks and potato like me. Mind you, he was aware of the menu because I have my meals planned out a night before. I told him that I only had one steak on me. And he said, well, we can share that. And I politely told him that I will need to eat all of my food since I'm feeding two, and this is all I have for the night, knowing that I'll most likely be hungry while you folks still have a meal that you can come back for seconds. I am now, in his words, a selfish woman using my pregnancy as an excuse to be selfish. I asked what's different about today than all the other days when I've been literally eating the same thing almost every day with no complaints. He said nothing but shook his head and said, well, it's the principle, bae, and then just walked off. We've barely spoken since. Just a dry goodbye and good morning. Am I the jerk? Maybe if he expressed that he wanted the same thing as me, I would have prepared it for him, but he literally always eats what I make. I didn't know that I had to be a mind reader. All right, folks, what do you think?
Absolutely not the jerk. Now, even if OP wasn't pregnant, I would say she's not the jerk because he never conveyed to her that this is what he wanted.
Yeah.
He just was, once she was already done, had everything portioned out, was like, oh, I want that. But I think the fact that OP is pregnant makes it especially egregious because a lot of times pregnancy cravings are because your body needs more of certain nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
Steak in particular, I think is very iron rich.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be nutrients in there that OP needs to keep growing this little human
Yeah.
and take care of herself at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So to be like, oh, you're being a selfish woman using your pregnancy as like an excuse. Pregnancy is an excuse
Right.
to eat certain foods because your body literally has different nutritional requirements.
Yeah. I mean, it is literally, I think you said it really well here. It's literally a good excuse here. And again, I think they've had this discussion and she's made her expectations known that if he wants to have the same dish as her, steak and potatoes, then he needs to tell her ahead of time. It's not that she doesn't want to cook him steak and potatoes. It's just that he needs to voice this ahead of time. And so I think, like, if she talks to him about it like that, and then they can hopefully work this out. And I think maybe sitting down and having a discussion about what they expect for, menu orders and stuff like that would be a really good idea. I don't think that this is a problem that can't be worked through, though.
Yeah.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might you call the study of Levi Strauss's invention?
Oh, you would probably call it genetics.
Genealogy.
Oh, genealogy. That would make sense.
Because of blue jeans.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said genetics.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure where you were going from there. I was just making sure you knew who Levi Strauss was.
Yeah, I'm wearing a pair of Levi jeans right now.
I mean, that's fair. And today is Genealogy Day, and it's also International Women's Day.
Yeah, so make sure to go find yourself a nice pair of pants. And women's pants, but not that's already attached to a woman. And I have Earl Grey.
For International Women's Day, can we get pockets in our pants?
You can. You can have all the pockets you want. Your pants are essentially just one giant pocket, as is. Pockets for your legs. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Spectacular Saturday, folks. I hope your Saturday is off to a spectacular start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it on accommodating cooking requests.
Requests need to be reasonable and accommodate the needs of the person who's doing the cooking.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.